Hi, my name is Rachel Quintana, and for my educational psychology lesson plan, I chose to do mental health awareness for second graders. So, why did I choose this topic? I chose this topic especially for second graders because during this age group, they're starting to understand moral codes. In Kohlberg's theory of moral development, he talks about 7 to 8-year-olds falling into level 3, where they start to learn conventional justice. So, they start to look at the peers around them and are starting to learn the rights and wrongs of societal norms. So I thought it was a good time to start introducing this into this age group, especially when we're talking about emotions and mental health, um, because a lot of what we learn from our peers around us at this age isn't necessarily the best way to deal with it. So I think that it's good to start showing kids at this age different ways that they can express their emotions, different ways they can de-stress. And so some challenges, keeping mental health awareness appropriate for this age group was kind of hard because they are still really, really young. And the goal is not to frighten them. Obviously, if this was for an older age group, we would be talking about this a lot more seriously. But I think the goal for this age group is really just bringing awareness about the different kinds of emotions that happen to us every day, and the different strengths of those emotions and different ways we can combat them. So the relevance, I think we need to be more open to talking to children about their emotions rather than waiting for them to sort it out on their own. I think we can kind of see this unfold in our society today. Talking about your emotions is not necessarily something that our society is very open to. And as we know, there are a lot of like fatal things that happen to people that aren't able to express their emotions. So I think starting them out as young as possible is really important, and start making that shift as soon as possible. So the overall goal is to teach second graders how to recognize emotions and manage stress in a healthy way. The lesson plan is full of activities that foster many different learning styles and tools that can be used throughout their life. I really wanted to focus on the different learning styles, especially for this age, because they are still very active and still very young. So I focused on Howard Gardner's different forms of intelligence and tried to incorporate those into the activities so that we could foster as many different cognitive learning styles as possible throughout this lesson. So learning objective number one, so students will learn how to recognize their emotions and how strongly they feel them. So the activity that goes along with objective one is that students will be provided with a worksheet full of different emotions. They will color in each emotion they felt that day and use different colors to depict high, neutral, or low levels of each emotion. So this learning objective is really just to get the children to start thinking about their feelings and emotions. So this is the first part of the activity. What happened for this lesson plan is just really setting the stage for the different emotions that are available to us every day, and then how strongly we can feel those emotions, like anger or sadness or happiness or joy. I think it's important just to understand, were they really that mad? How mad were they? So this kind of just brings awareness and recognition to their emotions. Learning objective number two, students will learn that other people have emotions and they are similar to their own. So the reason why I put this as a learning objective is that during this age, as I discussed, um, and also kind of in line with Kohlberg's theory, is that around this age group, the children are starting to realize other people's feelings and considering the reactions of others around them. So I thought it would be a good learning objective, because they're just starting to foster this type of learning, and also that for them to know that they're not alone in the emotions that they're feeling. And so the activity that comes after the first portion is students will use their worksheets from the previous activity. Each emotion will be recognized and the students will move into the middle of the room if they colored in that emotion. So this really is just to get the kids up and moving. I think it definitely fulfills the kinesthetic learning style for students who like to be active. I also think that seeing all of the kids around them when they walk into the circle, it really kind of brings spatial awareness to the feelings that they're feeling every day. They're not alone in them, and whether they're positive or maybe they're less negative, that everyone feels these emotions. So for learning objective number 3, students will learn different ways to relieve stress by sharing activities that bring them joy. So after they have all done the last activity, they will all raise their hands and share different things that make them happy, and different activities that they like to do when they're stressed out or maybe they're frustrated. And we'll be writing a list on the board of all the different things that the kids like to do. And this is just to get them to start thinking about the fact that doing things that they enjoy, their hobbies, and things like that can be options for relieving stress, or different ways to stop and think about their emotions. So this also fulfills a linguistic learning style. So this just gets everyone kind of talking about their own feelings and their different things that bring them joy. Learning objective number 4. So students will learn when they need to use use de-stressor techniques and how stress affects the body. So for this activity, students will watch a little 7-minute cartoon about managing stress and how to recognize it. I found this video and I thought it was very informative, especially just to keep them interested. It depicts different stressors throughout the day, and I think that for the children that can't recognize what's going on in the classroom in terms of the moving around and the different previous activities, they should be able, in this part of the portion of the lesson plan, be able to really get a grasp on what we're talking about here. And then for learning objective 5, students will learn how to apply what they have learned about de-stressor techniques. So this is kind of a closing activity for the entire lesson. So the activity is that students will plan their week ahead and schedule time to do something that brings them joy. So I thought this was an important activity under this learning objective, because as we get older, we tend to really get stressed out about the lack of planning that we have for our day. Not only does making a schedule for the week lower our stress, but also planning time to do things that we enjoy really is another way to relieve stress. So I'm hoping that this is a good closing activity and it can wrap up the lesson plan in full. So the takeaways that I had, second graders learn about how to deal with their emotions by watching their peers. I thought that this is really important because at such a young age, kids are looking around them to see how we're managing our own emotions and managing our own stress. And I think that we can all agree that we as adults can do a better job at that. So I think it's important that we recognize that. And then also, teachers need to spend more time allowing children to distress. I think we put a lot of pressure on kids, especially at a young age. And we don't really give them time to kind of like take a moment and take a deep breath and just check in with themselves. And the last one is developing emotional intelligence at an early age can lead to greater success in life. I think this is the overall takeaway. I think that if we can teach our children as young as possible about emotional intelligence, different ways that they can de-stress, things to do when they're feeling happy or sad, that we can make a huge change. Yeah, that concludes my lesson plan. Thank you.